Hi, friends. Groundhog Day is coming up, and my friend the Groundhog wanted me to read a story about Groundhog Day. Isn't that right, Mr. Groundhog? Mr. Groundhog? Oh, there he is. Hi, Mr. Groundhog.
Hello, Morah, Becky. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fine. Now, if you want to read a story about facts about Groundhog Day, like what is the holiday about, and if you want to learn a little bit about groundhogs, there's another book on our channel where you can learn all about Groundhog Day. But this story that I'm going to read to you now is a fiction story. That means it's made up. It's a silly story about a groundhog on Groundhog Day, and it's called, what's it called? That's right. It's called Wake Up Groundhog. Are you ready? All right, let's see. Wake Up Groundhog. Oops. And this story is by Susan Corman. She wrote the words. She's the author. And it's illustrated by Eugenie Fernandez. She drew the pictures. Wake up, Groundhog. No, he's fast asleep. It was Groundhog Day in Hamlet Woods. Oh, you could see his calendar says February 2nd. That means it's Groundhog Day. But lazy Gregory Groundhog did not want to get up.
My burrow is so warm and cozy, he thought to himself. I will rest just a little while longer, then I'll get up.
Soon Gregory Groundhog was sound asleep again. Shh! Knock, knock, knock! A loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Who's that? That's right, it's a skunk. Gregory Groundhog, called Sally Skunk. Are you up yet? Sally waited a moment for a reply. I was wondering, she continued, if you could tell me if spring will be here soon. I'm sure I don't know, Sally, Gregory replied, yawning. I'm still very tired. Please go away and let me sleep a little bit more. I'll get up soon. All right, Sally said softly. Thank you very much. Sally Skunk was always quite polite. She scampered off. Gregory pulled the warm covers up over his head, and soon he had drifted back into a deep slumber. Shh. Shh. Thump, thump, thump. Another loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, called Philip Frog. Are you ready to come out yet? I am very eager to learn if spring will be coming soon. Philip's deep voice boomed loudly.
I'm too tired to get up right now, Philip,
Gregory said in a sleepy voice.
Please let me rest for a few more minutes, then I'll get out of bed.
So Philip Frog hopped back up to the hill. Gregory rolled over, and before long, he was snoring away. Shh! Scratch, scratch, scratch! Another noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. Gregory Groundhog, Rosie Raccoon whispered shyly. I'm so sorry to wake you, but...
Oh, please go away, Rosie, Gregory grumbled. I know you want to find out if spring is coming, but I'm just not ready to leave my cozy burrow yet.
Rosie Raccoon scurried off. Gregory fluffed up his pillow and put his head down again.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
A very loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow.
Gregory Groundhog!
Charlie Crow called in his rackety voice.
Are you ready to wake up and tell me if spring is right around the corner?
No, Charlie, Gregory said, feeling very grumpy. He pulled his pillow over his ears.
I am not ready to get up yet, he told Charlie. Now would you please be quiet while I take a short little nap?
Wow, Charlie Crow said, giving another hoarse and rather rude caw. And away, and with a loud flap of wings, he flew off to the top of the hill. Poor Gregory is not getting a chance to go back to sleep, is he? Honk, honk, honk. A very, very loud noise suddenly filled Gregory's quiet burrow. "Gregory Groundhog!" Silly Goose called. He pulled open the door and poked his head into Gregory's burrow. "Oh dear," he said. "I hope you're not still sleeping." By now, Gregory Groundhog was very grumpy.
Yes, silly goose, he growled. I am still sleeping.
"You are?" Silly Goose said in surprise. "But, Gregory, it sounds as if you're wide awake."
Oh, never mind, silly goose, Gregory groaned. Please just leave me alone. I will get up soon, but not until I am good and ready.
So Silly Goose waddled away up the hill. Gregory Groundhog lay down again. He tried to go back to sleep, but it was no use. Gregory tossed and he turned and he tossed and he turned until finally he decided it was indeed time to get up. Gregory Groundhog climbed out of bed, yawned one last time, and crawled out of his burrow. Ooh. Outside, the sun shone brightly in the blue sky. Gregory's friends were waiting for him at the top of the hill. As he reached the crest, they all rushed over.
Is it time now, Gregory Groundhog?
Called Charlie Crow.
Can you tell us now if spring will be here soon?
Yes, Gregory said, smiling. Now that he was wide awake, he didn't feel so grumpy anymore. Gregory looked down, and there on the ground was his shadow. Ooh. "Oh, well," said Philip Frog, sighing. "I guess spring won't be coming soon to Hamlet Woods after all."
"Yes," said Sally Skunk sadly. "When Gregory Groundhog sees his shadow, it means there will be 6 more weeks of winter."
Silly Goose shivered. "Did you say 6 more weeks of winter?" he asked.
"Yes, silly goose," Gregory said. "There will be 6 more weeks of cold and snowy weather." Whoop.
"Well, in that case, goodbye," said Silly Goose, and with a flap of his wings, he started for the path that led down the hill. A moment later, the rest of Gregory's friends hurried after Silly Goose.
"But where are you going?"
Gregory called out in surprise. Philip Frog stopped and turned around. "Now that we know that spring isn't coming soon, we're all going home to take a little nap," he explained.
"A little nap?" Gregory replied. "After waking me up, my friends are all going home to take a nap?"
And as Gregory watched his friends hurry home, an idea popped into his head. Gregory Groundhog waited until all his friends were tucked snugly into their warm and cozy beds, and then he woke them up. The end. Oh, that was a silly story about Groundhog Day. Was that a true story? No, that was made up. That's a pretend story, which means it's fiction. Well, what did you think about that story, Mr. Groundhog?
Oh, I thought it was really cute and funny.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. All right, Mr. Groundhog, I think it's time for us to go.
Oh no, it's my shadow. That means it's 6 more weeks of winter.
It does?
Yes.
All right, stay warm, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.